It's time for science class, and I am so ready for our review. All right, let's see how much you remember. How much of the Earth is surrounded by water? It is 75% or 3/4. Very good. We're going to talk about the clouds now. We have three types of clouds. We have cumulus, the big and puffy ones. We have the ones that are feathers, like a unicorn's tail, and that is our cirrus clouds. Then we have stratus, like a blanket. Okay, so we have our stratus cloud like a blanket. We have our cirrus like a unicorn's tail, and we have our cumulus, which are big and puffy clouds. All right, which cloud is large and puffy? Yes, it is cumulus. Which cloud is light and feathery? Yes, we have our cirrus clouds. Which cloud looks like a blanket? This is our stratus cloud. Which one goes from super happy and then sometimes forms thunderheads? It has a little bit of anger issues. This is the cumulus cloud. Which cloud is called fog when it's very close to the earth? It's our blanket. It's stratus. Which cloud is made up of air and ice crystals? So we think about that. It's the one that's the highest up, and the one closest the one that's highest up, that is our cirrus cloud. Which one is often a sign a storm is coming? A storm is coming. This is our cirrus cloud again. Which one usually brings light rain or snow? Now remember, when you look at the sky and it's all white like a blanket, it's our blanket cloud, the stratus. And which one usually appears during fair weather? Yeah, remember the moody cloud? Cumulus. All right. Now, what are clouds made up of? They are made up of water and air. That's your recipe to make clouds. Take water and you take air. Now, what is anything that takes up space and has weight? It is matter. All right. You say matter, not matter. A desk. Matter. Peace, not matter. Water, matter. A broom, matter. God, not matter. The Holy Spirit, not matter. Love, not matter. Your body, matter. It takes up space. All right, now water, we talked about how it's necessary for life, and we said that everything that is matter is made up of these tiny particles. The smallest piece of a substance still has all the qualities of that substance, and it is a molecule. Did you say molecule? I hope you did. I bet you did. Now, the particles that make molecules are called the particles that make up molecules. They're the tiniest things ever. They are atoms. Atoms. And what two elements make up a water molecule? It is hydrogen and oxygen. All right, now we talked about water, and it has three different states. And three different states of matter are solid, liquid, gas. Which one has a definite shape and takes up a definite space? Does not change shape easily. It is solid. Which one does not have a particular amount of space, but it fills up amount of space? It fills up the amount of space. And it changes shape. It is a liquid. All right, which matter has no shape and does not fill up a fixed amount of space? That is gas. All right, now in order of the fastest to slowest, we have gas, then that's the fastest, then we have a liquid, which takes on any shape, and then we have solid, which is doesn't change shape easily. What is it called to move back and forth? It is to vibrate. I hope you're knowing all of these. Now remember when we talked about water and how you can fill it really high to the brim of your glass without it floating over. Why will it hold itself together without coming out right away? What do we call that magical property? This is surface tension. Did you get that? Next, we talked about different temperatures and when the matter is changing state. So we call our melting point and our freezing point, they're the same temperature. Do you remember? 32 degrees Fahrenheit. What about our boiling point? When a liquid would turn into a gas. This is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And we said, now this is important, what happens to most liquids when they become colder? Well, most liquids contract, but water expands. And why is this important? This is important because remember we talked about all of the life in the ponds and the oceans? They can survive. They couldn't survive if water contracted and all sunk to the bottom. All the animals would die. So that is important. Let me think. Oh, yesterday we talked about the ability to do work. What is that? It is your energy, and some of you have a lot of energy. That is the ability to do work. Now, work is done only once an object is what? Yeah, our work is only done when we have moved an object. If we don't move an object, like remember you guys moving the wall, you couldn't move the wall, you did no work. You might have broken a sweat, but you have not done any work. You have to be able to move the object. Now, we say the push or the pull of an object is its force. What is the force that drags us towards the center of the earth? It is the gravity. It's the gravity. Now, in order to lift the object, you have to have more force than the weight of the object. For example, if we have a 20-pound box and I am only exerting 19 pounds of pressure, I cannot lift the box. I would have to have more force than it. All right. And then we talked about energy. We have potential energy and moving energy. Now remember, potential is having the ability, but it's not used. Potential energy is stored energy. It's not moving. The potential is stored, has the ability. For example, when we were using our Nerf guns, we had the ability to use it, but it was just stored when the bullets were sitting there. When you shot it and the bullet shot out, that was its moving energy. I hope that you know those terms because you're about to take a quiz. Make sure when you take your quiz that you take a picture of it and post it for me today so that I can grade it and give you back your grade. All right. So we're going to get into our new lesson, and you can either pause this and take your quiz or study for your quiz and take it, or you can just watch this and take your quiz afterwards. All right. Today we're going to be talking about the atmosphere, and if you're in your science book, you can go to page 113. 113. The air surrounding our Earth is called the atmosphere. Our air surrounding our Earth is called the atmosphere, and the atmosphere can extend up to 1,000 miles, and it's the air surrounding our Earth. Maybe you've seen, if you look at a globe, or you can see in a globe, you have blue, right, for the water, you have green, tan for the land, and then you see this white swirling stuff. That is our atmosphere, and that is the air. Now, the air surrounding extends about 1,000 miles above the earth. Now, the atmosphere is actually held in by an important force called gravity. Gravity keeps our atmosphere from floating away. And it's important because our layers of air contain important gases so that we can stay alive. Isn't it interesting how God designed it? We can't, it kind of reminds me of God. We can't see God right now, but we know He's there. The same with air. Right now, it's all around us. We can't see air. It's colorless. But right now, you're only alive because you're breathing air. If all of a sudden the air were taken away, you would die. Okay? We can't see it. We know it's there. Now you cannot see it, smell it, taste it, pick it up, but it's there. Now you can hear the effects of it. Maybe if there's wind or something rustling, you can hear it. Maybe when the wind is howling, but we cannot see it. Now there are several different kind of gases in the air. Now with I'm just gonna tell you, when we have a water molecule, the atoms combine to form a molecule. Now with our air, it does not combine, but we have just different elements in the air that we can breathe. Now, this is very interesting. When I would think of air, I would think mostly that our atmosphere would consist of oxygen, right? But that's actually not the case. What we mostly have in our air that we breathe, in the air surrounding us, is nitrogen. Now, you say, what? I've never heard of nitrogen. Well, nitrogen, it makes up about 78% of the atmosphere around us. This might sound strange, but plants need nitrogen for the soil. So nitrogen goes into the soil and it turns it into nitrates, which helps our plants grow. Now, if you think about it, the way God designed this makes sense because plants don't breathe in oxygen. And think about it. Are there more plants in this world or are there more people? There's more plants. Exactly. So you're going to need more nitrogen in the air to help us supply more plants for our environment. So 78% is nitrogen. So if I ask you what's the most abundant element in our atmosphere, it will be nitrogen. Now the next one is for us, and it's about 21%, a little over 20%. So this is oxygen. So 78% is nitrogen, then about 21% oxygen, and then 1% of the others is just other gases. One of them is carbon dioxide, which we've talked about. Carbon dioxide is also needed by plants. What is the process, do you remember, where it takes carbon dioxide, sunlight, water, mix it together, and make sugar that the plant does? It is, did you say photosynthesis? If you did, you're correct. Now, air. If you're wondering, where can I find air? Well, obviously it's in your atmosphere, in the layer surrounding the earth, but it's also mixed in the soil. You're going to find some air in the soil, some air pockets. That's why you know that if there's not enough air in the soil is like packed together too closely, the plants cannot grow. Now, that's where earthworms come in handy, because earthworms will be traveling through the dirt, and as they're doing it, they leave holes for air, which helps add some pockets of air for our soil. Now, also, air is dissolved in water, so plants and animals that live in the water take air from the water. So that's interesting, and I can prove this because if you've ever gotten a glass of water in the middle of the night, or you've gotten one before bed and you drink some and you put you put it on your nightstand or your dresser, and you wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm gonna have a sip. I've done that before. It's nasty. In the morning, if you take that water, it tastes disgusting because in the middle of the night, it gets some bubbles, little bubbles of air in it. And it's not good when you've had water out and then you've drunk it the next day and there's water bubbles in there. So air also takes in some water. So I'm going to ask you some questions to see if you were listening and also to make sure that I covered all the material. What is the layer of air surrounding the earth called? It's the atmosphere. Did you get it? You're breathing. It's the atmosphere, this layer of air surrounding the earth. Oh, I did not ask this. In which of the 3 states of matter does air exist naturally? Well, think, what are you breathing right now? You're breathing in a gas. So did you say gas? Okay, which of the gases in the air is the most plentiful? Don't say oxygen. It's not oxygen. It is nitrogen. It is nitrogen. Now, why is oxygen important for people, animals, and plants? Because we need oxygen to breathe, obviously, and also for energy. Which gas do plants take from the air in order to make food? Now, they need the nitrogen from the soil. They need nitrogen in their soil, but that's not what the plants take in. The plants take in carbon dioxide. Did you say that? I'm sure you did. Now, what keeps a blanket of air around the earth from floating away? What holds us together? What holds our air together? It is gravity keeps it in. Now, besides the atmosphere, where else would we find air? In the soil and in the water. Oh, you guys, I had so much fun talking about science with you. If you could take your quiz and also be reading over the pages that we covered today, page 113 through 115. That's all for science today. Love you guys. Talk to you later.